I was at Uganda Technical College, Elgon, where I was doing a diploma in civil engineering. It's hands-on. But still, most of the students haven't embraced going for these technical courses, vocational courses. And yet, when you leave these courses, I am sure that you will not come and ask for a job anywhere else. You can start up your own enterprise. And that's so as a nation, and as UNSA, we have tried to talk to government to strengthen a lot of these institutions of learning, to fund more the TVET sector. As we talk now, when you go to these UTCs, they're not like the days we were there before. I was at UTC leader, they got bulldozers, making roads now. They have new buildings coming up to help them facilitate the issues of learning and all that. But if again we don't work on the issue of unemployment that is rapidly here, people will go. And we'll be losing labor as we're producing a lot of labor. The countries that don't have this labor that we have here, we have a lot of labor force, but redundant. People are unemployed. They basically have energy and they want what they can do, but they cannot do anything. But even those who are doing something are being exploited. I heard that less than 1% of employed Ugandans earn more than 1 million in this country. So 99% are earning like 150,
100, around that.
So still Musa is going to stand to engage government for the wage bill. So they can have the wage bill come up and have a minimum wage. Yes. So that we don't get exploited anymore, because we're going to be the next victims. You're a student today, you're supposed to go to the labor market tomorrow. So if you're paid 150 with these high prices around, what will you do?
Okay, now, sometime back, the Prime Minister came up and said, if the prices of soap is going high, then you resort to purple leaves. And this morning, as I was previewing here, the Egyptian president, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, advised them that if the bread is too high, hey, it's better you resort to tree leaves, because you cannot. Now, you imagine students going to school, after they don't have food. This is the post-COVID effect. It's coming out of the post-COVID effect. Is it happened in Nigeria? How have you handled it in Nigeria? Or in the West African countries, like the ECOWAS and what?
Yes, there has continued to be, beyond the post-COVID effect, there's also the global energy crisis that is hitting many countries who have not been so resilient. Even the best of countries of the world have been hit by this energy crisis, especially in early parts of this year. Prices of petroleum has gone so high. Even for Nigeria, is an oil-producing country, has also had challenges getting these supplies. The scarcity that has caused the hike, and of course, energy is central to everything that we do. You go to work in the morning, you need to transport at home, everywhere. So it has impacted on the prices of commodities, especially producers that also depend on this energy as factor of production. So it has impacted on everything in Africa, and also on parts of the world. And of course, it has also spiked the rate of increase in prices of commodities.
More so school requirements.
This is an argument that must it quickly impact on prices of goods in the middle class. The middle class, there must be mechanisms of cushioning the impact of these things to get into the middle class as quickly as it is. I have also read I've also interacted with my friends in UNSA about the arrest of certain students,
those who were arrested recently,
who have gone to protest on this matter. While I would have advised the students to have regularized their move with the UNSA, because it is going to be difficult for us to come in when you don't start your protest from your leadership. So I would have advised them. We also want to expect the government to expect that the solution to these problems the students are calling for is not in their arrest. The solution to the problem is to go back to the drawing board and listen to them, and of course advise them on other means of conveying their grievances, especially through their leadership, that can have a seat on the table with the government at most times. It's only when consultation fails that confrontation becomes inevitable. If you don't follow the process, it's a problem.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Because did they consult you as UNSA when they were calling up because they gave the government 14 days?
In fact, prior to
in case the government fails in 14 days to tackle the high prices of school requirements,
yes,
rental requirements, because you know, when you go to tertiary institutions,
yes,
we go for hostels and what, but even those owners of the hostels, they also need more money.
Yes.
So even rent is hiked, everything.
Prior to these young people going to the street, we had also, as UNSA ourselves, written to the IGP of police, asking him to allow us to have a peaceful demonstration to march and take a petition to Parliament. The IGP never replied to us, and this is our country, we know. So when we took the petition quietly to Parliament, we never got a reply as well. Again. And of course, these students always have structures. As UNSA, we have structures. There is a guild leadership. Let's say in your university, you have the guild president, who is a direct member of council of UNSA. So we always communicate to them. And a lot of these people reported these things to their guild leadership, and nothing was being done. So after that, they had stress. When they arrested those students, unfortunately, I went to police. I talked to a few of them. Others had no tuition. Others are government students are supposed to receive some remittance. The remittance now has become small. If it was 600,000 maybe, now it can't help you anymore.
Can't.
So they were saying, please, and even the money that government promises doesn't come in time. They might give you money of this semester, the next semester.
Did you try to remind the government of the stimulus? That the government promised stimulus to some institutions, some schools and what? Such that to boost them because of the COVID effect, to pull them up.
Now that one we shall need a comprehensive report from the institutions of learning themselves. If they did get, we can carry on. There are those that got maybe and kept quiet. And they don't want to do anything with the money, because it's possible you get money and fail to do anything in lining of boosting your enterprise entirely. So UNSA went in, and we engaged with the Kampala Metropolitan Police, and they told the DPC to release the students. A couple of them had exams on Monday. It was around Saturday when they were arrested. I think Friday or Saturday. The DPC said it's okay. A day after, we only realized that taking students to court. I was a surety myself. I went to court with the team of other Buganda Road Court. I was shocked when the magistrate instead sent these people on remand. And I was saying, now, these are students who have exams. What wrong have they done? In fact, I've just come out on behalf of the very many Ugandans who can't come out.
Of course.
Maybe there are those who are coming out in Wiyende but cannot be given attention. So these ones have only come and said, listen, this is...
Because they're in Kampala here, in the vicinity.
So they got and you have arrested them. Most painful, when they were releasing them on bail, they asked them to pay money.
To pay cash.
Cash bond of 200,000 shillings and non-cash of 10 million shillings.
These are people who are complaining about hiked prices.
And you're giving it to students.
And you're asking them to pay cash.
Shame upon the judicial system. It was very painful.
And then, did you look at the issue of, sometime back, the Minister of Education came up as we were going to open up schools. The Minister of Education said the schools should not hike whatever, school fees and what, they should remain neutral. Have you handled that side? Because many schools, again, did the same. They increased the school fees.
I followed one time, they were given parents who were saying that school fees should be increased at a given school because there's a lot of jam as they're taking our children to school. That means, as we're complaining, that those that are comfortable.
They're comfortable.
But again, there's nothing much that ministry can do on price regulation of these schools, because most of these are private schools. These are private owners. You only get to there when you can manage to pay. If my school fees is 2 million and you're coming...
If you can't manage here, you try
go to the one of 50,000. So government can do nothing serious on that.
You hear what is in Africa?
It is propaganda talk when you hear them say they can do anything.
It's propaganda.
It's just coming to sit on press and impress the public that we are working.
Do you have this similar situation like in Nigeria?
Yes, we have, you know, like I said earlier, the situation is quite pan-African. You know, with one country, I've gone to countries, especially in southern African countries, they are very okay. An attempt to hike school fees in South Africa some years ago met the fees must fall movement, which was relatively very successful. You know, students were able to put their foot to the ground and protested, and I was also add peacefully and agitated for that to be done. Today, in recent days in Zimbabwe, the fees of study is going high, and of course Zimbabwe National Students Union declared a total shutdown of Zimbabwe in response to this ISEM issue. That's much about Southern Africa. I must also say in West Africa, and we have had a lot of issues with austerity measures in Ghana. You know, the same global economic crisis is also impacting on their economy. They have introduced some measures to cushion that effect that has also caused a rise in cost of goods. Sometimes it's not direct. For instance, if the government says tax is reviewed upwards, the service providers that also provide for students would also tend to review it upwards, and it impacts their students. So that is also a problem. Those ones in Ghana, they're able to engage governments very, very competently, and they listen to them. Whereas there are also other people that have a different approach to agitation.
When you look at the ECOWAS community, those countries in the ECOWAS, is there any country that came up with a stimulus package or whatever to pull up these countries or schools, institutions out of? Because I was looking at the Nigerian Airways. It was somehow given some money to maintain because of the 2 years they spent without operating. Now, did they give schools, were schools also given some money or not?
The Nigerian aviation system is largely private sector driven. Okay. And of course, because they were shut down, the government gave stimulus, not only to them, but other sectors that, you know, the hospitality sector and other that had, they've been negatively impacted by the COVID-19 lockdown. So
Haji Buhari is doing some good work there.
Yes, the President Muhammadu Buhari is in terms of social investment, in terms of you know, supporting small businesses, especially in agriculture. He has actually been very, very excellent in terms of that aspect. Of course, in terms of education, we also expect that where he is widening access, you know, the space to education, because Nigeria, we're a very populated country with over 200 million people, and the student population being about 1/5 to 1/4 of that number, getting to 40 to 50 million. We also have a very, very serious you know, challenge with having access to education in Nigeria, and also making sure there is quality thereof. So I'm not too sure about what the government has done in terms of the education stimulus. But again, I know that schools were closed down, and of course the universities were not encountering running costs, being that education is not a profit-making venture. Now, if you are shut down in a non-profit-making venture, you don't say you lost money. But again, the government pays, most of them pays tuition fee. I also want probably to make a case for private institutions that are privately owned.
So in Nigeria, the education is not profit-making. But when you come to Uganda,
it's business. Non-government
is not a revenue-generating establishment. In fact, in federal universities, almost 80% of costs is taken by the government. Now, government-owned universities are the very, very cheapest universities. Okay, because the tuition fee is free for government at that federal level. But again, private universities and state universities are.
Thank you very much, Oga. I'll come back to you after when we're winding up. Coming time bad, but I'll come to you when we handle. How have you handled that Boko Haram issue? Because of that Boko Haram issue. Now, once has been in office for how many years? 5 years?
5 months.
5 months?
Yes.
What have you achieved?
A lot, of course. Basically, UNSA is an advocacy platform, and we have been speaking about things we've been advocating. Don't arrest students brutally. Do this. Stimulus packages must be used effectively. Can we open schools? You were here when we were saying open schools. It is time, and open them safe. We ran that advocacy on vaccinating students from the institutions of learning, and also with testing them in the institutions of learning. Lately, we have been running a back-to-school campaign where we are encouraging all students to get back to school.
Even those who were impregnated, who gave birth.
Lately, UNSA has even been supporting those students who cannot, in fact, highly under my docket. We have been supporting them with finances through the institutions of learning. Those who have inadequate funds to access education anymore.
And a future plan?
The future plans are very simple. We are now looking at the girl child. A lot of them during our campaign didn't get back to school. And the reasons are very simple. Others don't have sanitary materials. And there are those that even gave birth and now are at home and now have to get back to school. We are looking at distributing over 1 million reusable sanitary pads to school-going girls in this country, and as well scholastic materials to those who dropped out of school to help boost them to get back to school. And also, we are still remaining a leader advocacy organization to the students of this country and around the region.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Okoli Brian, the finance secretary. You know, holding an office in finance. You know the finance minister, what he said when we were entering the COVID lockdown.
I'm not arrogant as him.
You can say, no, education is
he's flying up.
He's flying up. Okay. Now, how have you handled this difference, the problem of the Boko Haram issue? Because when you go to the northern Nigeria, there's a lot of fracas with the Boko Haram. Then the southern Nigeria is a bit safe. I don't know.
I would say that the Boko Haram issue is an issue not only with Nigeria but with the entire Chad basin. With the Chad country themselves, Niger, to Burkina Faso and a lot of that. There's a huge insecurity problem in our hands. I've also seen Uganda having to do some diplomatic routes with DRC and all that to ensure there is no incursion of terrorism into Uganda. We're also worried that even in Mozambique, in Southern Africa, there is also we're also unsure about the security in that place. We are yet to say that insecurity is engulfing entire Africa, while we're hoping our government to do something. Then back to northern Nigeria. For the past 12, 13 years, the country has been unsettled with the issue of insecurity. And Boko means book. Haram means
wrong, something
wrong,
bad.
That is forbidden. So Boko Haram means education is a crime. So these sectors continue to target institutions of higher learning and institutions of basic learning across the places they have stronghold, which of course you notice in the north. But again, I would like to say that the issue of insecurity, is campus insecurity, is not restricted in north. Down there in southern Nigeria, in Abia State University, a road that leads through the campuses, continuous kidnapping of students and other students. It's happening in southern Nigeria. There are now other parts of southern Nigeria we've had issues of occultism and all of that. So you can say generally that our campuses are not safe in Africa. You can remember here in East Africa, sometime 5 years ago, Garissa State University was hit by Al-Shabaab terrorists, killing 148.
Yes, Kenya.
This is you go to Somalia, campuses are not safe. So yes, I appreciate that people are thinking about northern Nigeria. It's a big problem. I'm sure government is tackling insecurity in a holistic picture and try to keep our campuses safe. But again, it has spiked the number of out-of-school children to about 15 million, and is a very big problem in that giant of Africa and of Africa in general. Okay,
nice. Very much. Thank you very much for honoring Baba TV and being with us, Oga. I think, when are you leaving Uganda?
Don't be here today, I'll leave tomorrow.
Tomorrow? From here, you're going to where?
I will go to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. We intend to host the African Students' Day on the 16th of June.
Okay, wish you a safe journey. Say bye-bye to our viewers.
Thank you. Pleased to have you.
Mr. Koi, yes. The same. You say. Baba TV. Yes. Thank you very much for viewing us. That has been our education section or whatever segment in our morning show. Gangamka. Gangamka means wake up and do something. So we have the education sector. Wake up and do something. Otherwise, we are losing a lot. We are losing our future. Wish you the best. Ise yawantu chabazinga busoga fumvu ebyanda nebyanda.